If you're a custodial supervisor at a local high school, you know that cleanliness is key, and that the best place to get cleaning supplies is from Grainger. Grainger helps you stay fully stocked on the products you trust, from paper towels and disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Plus, you can rely on Grainger for easy reordering, so you never run out of what you need. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
We all know those GLP-1 injections work wonders, but that price tag almost gave me a heart attack when my insurance denied coverage. I was staring at a choice between paying my mortgage or paying for weight loss. Talk about a rock and a hard place. Then I found Elevate Health compounded semaglutide at just $58 with payment plans that don't require a second mortgage. Same medication, same results, but a price that real folks can actually afford. Visit joinelevate.com today. That's JOINELEVATE.com. Your wallet will be as happy as your waistline. This medication is not FDA approved.
No, like you mentioned, Mark, you said like, oh, this was my idea. So it was funny. Andy, it was you that had said like, hey, you asked me if I had seen it a couple weeks ago, right?
Studio 666?
Yeah.
Maybe, I probably did.
Because you were like, because we had a conversation because you were trying to convince me to watch it. You were like, well, it was kind of fun. And then we had the whole conversation about Pat Smear, and you were like, he's just laughing in every scene.
Yeah.
Which he totally is. But then the universe decided to say, well, you know what? Let's make sure everybody who doesn't even know who the fuck the Foo Fighters are now know who the goddamn Foo Fighters are.
I think it was either the day of or the day after you picked this from the movies that I sent you.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, man.
That sounds accurate. Because as soon as you sent me the invite, I said, I better watch it. So I went and watched it. And literally, like the next day,
that would have been
passing.
It was that night, right?
I think so.
Yeah. So, oops.
Yeah.
Yikes! I don't know how that happened.
I was curious to see how that went watching it, and he's not really in it that much. So,
thankfully, not thankfully. I guess We'll get to it when we get to it, but on this episode of the Kulturecast, if you can't tell, I am joined once again by my good friend, recording artist Andy Gnosis.
Hello.
And the host of the Wake Up Heavy podcast, where he talks about horror movies. I have been there a couple times. Your friend and mine, Mr. Mark Begley. No relation to Ed.
You can never have enough ranch.
It's true. God damn it. The best parts of this movie had to do with Will Forte. Good Lord. Isn't that always the case?
And ranch dressing.
And on this episode of the Kulturecast, we are talking about Studio 666.
Foo Fighters! You gotta get me a record.
It's our 10th album. We gotta break the mold on this one. About time. Let's go somewhere we've never been.
This place is amazing.
Do you guys get this overwhelming sense of death? Whoa. Doesn't really seem like the right fit. Whoa, that's rad.
That was weird.
The sound of this house is the sound of album 10.
All right, you guys, amps, living room.
Let me apologize in advance for all the rock we're about to make.
Got a couple of ideas I've been working on. I'll lay them on you.
Dude, wait.
It's called Everlong, and you wrote it about 20 years ago.
How you feeling? Everything okay?
Ever since we moved into this house, my mind is flooded.
We all have writer's block.
This is not just a creepy rock and roll house. But it allows spiritual entities to cross into our world.
Oh my God!
on One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest crazy.
It's this place, man.
Let's finish the track.
Can't we just wait, dude?
Play the drums.
You found a new musical note?
Hell yes, I did.
It's an L.
Any chefs in the group?
I'm pretty handy on a grill.
Yeah, you like your meat charred and dry.
He does make a killer barbecue.
What do we do?
We go save his ass.
Is the album almost done?
Yeah, it's killer.
Here you go, man. Finish the song.
You did.
A new movie that, yes, features the Foo Fighters, but let's just be honest here. More aptly, it features Dave Grohl. I mean, really. It's, it's kind of the Dave Grohl show in a lot of ways. But again, the kind of real bad recent events notwithstanding, let's talk a little bit about Studio 666. So it is directed by BJ McDonnell. It is based on a story by none other than Dave Grohl, and it is a screenplay by Jeff Bueller and Rebecca Hughes. And it stars the Foo Fighters in their entirety going to a recording studio that is haunted to record their 10th album. And this is a first for the Foo Fighters. This is their first kind of feature film that's not a documentary. I guess for the most part, I would say most of us know them for their kind of documentaries that they did in the last decade, but this is a feature film, a horror movie even. So let's just start with Andy. Andy, you and I kind of talked about this movie a couple weeks ago, and you were trying to sell me on watching it.
Hello, my name is Kevin Tudor, and I'm one of the 3 hosts of Almost Major, a film podcast dissecting many major indie studios and the films they release. Every week, myself, Charlie Nash, and Bryden Doyle discuss overlooked, forgotten, or bona fide classic indie films via studio-specific miniseries. We've previously covered numerous films from Artisan Entertainment, Lionsgate Films, and New Line Cinema. Titles including The Blair Witch Project, American Psycho, Dogville, But I'm a Cheerleader, Saw, Requiem for a Dream, and Ringmaster, you know, the Jerry Springer film. Anyways, we have a fun time every week and we hope you will join us. Subscribe to Almost Major wherever you get your podcasts. Now proudly a part of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Do you love movies? So do I. What's up, y'all? It's KB, and I love movies. Inviting you to listen to The Conversation, a film podcast where passion meets perspective and opinion. From the old school to the new, I invite a guest on to discuss the movies that thrill us, challenge us, break our hearts, or even blow our minds. There's always new episodes dropping wherever you get your podcasts. So join the conversation. We don't just watch movies. We love talking about them too. The Conversation with KB Loves Movies, a part of Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
So now I cede the floor to you. What did you think of Studio 666? Pre-spoilers. We're not talking spoilers yet.
Right. I enjoyed it for what it was. Obviously, it was a silly shit show. Like you said, it did feature mostly Dave Grohl, and it felt somewhat like an unofficial sequel somewhat to like the Evil Dead franchise. But it did have its faults that we can get into later. I will say towards the end of it, I couldn't tell where this movie was going to end. Like, we get to the pool. I was like, okay, this is the ending. Then we get to the car and I was like, this is the ending. Then we get to the concert. And I was like, I was kind of over it by that point.
I don't think you're going to get a disagreement out of the two of us on that one. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark, what about you? I know you were kind of joking that this was my pick. Heave-ho right under the Dragula, as they would say. So what did you think of Studio 666? And are you a fan of the Foo Fighters, sir?
Not really. I like a lot of the first album. I think my wife has that one, so it's one I've heard, but I'd never kept up with their music
But
Am I
you're
on?
you're like the right generation too to have like.
I am pretty much
like
the age of everyone in this group except for Pat Smear. He's a generation older than the rest of the guys in the band. But I was noticing their faces, and I'm like, these dudes have to be in their early 50s. I recognize this look, so I looked them all up. Everyone was born between 68 and 72, so they're Mike White and Mark Begley ages, and you can tell, you see these guys not just as not rock musicians, but these are the dads that you see out with their kids, that are still wearing these clothes, even though they're in their 50s. But no, I've never been a big fan. That the one song that I really like of theirs is the one that they did that Mentos spoof video of. I can never remember the name of it.
Big Me.
Yeah, it's a lot different than the rest of their music. It's got a nice melody to it, and
there's a couple Foo Fighters songs in their early stuff that are very different than I think what because I am a huge Foo Fighters fan, so that is like the one thing. But you're right, like there's some early stuff that they haven't done since that's very like the stuff they did on the X-Files movie. It's similar to what you're talking about. It's very not at all what they do now, like at all.
Yeah, I think it's kind of turned into, and I this is a disparaging term generally, but it makes me think of frat rock,
like
the stuff like that the guys
rock.
Or arena rock. But I think my catchphrase for when I come on here now is going to be, I didn't hate it as much as I thought I was going to, which would have applied to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre if I had been able to do that one, and will probably apply to some other more contemporary horror films that we do maybe in the future.
My feeling on it is almost the same as yours, only the other way. I didn't love it as much as I thought it was going to.
It did a lot of stuff right. For one, the practical effects were surprisingly good, and I was
my God,
okay,
they were fucking great, man. This is a Foo Fighters movie for all intents and purposes. Where are they getting this from?
I saw in the opening credits effects and animatronics by so and so, and I was like, oh, animatronics, cool. So we're going to have some things moving here that aren't CGI. Great, I'm here for that. The first thing I noticed, though, was that opening scene. One of my bugaboos in any movie is compound fractures. So we have a compound fracture, which just makes me cringe. I don't care how fake it looks or whatever. We don't even see it happen. We see the aftermath, but that got my attention. And then in that scene as well, there's a corpse laying on a staircase that has its head completely smashed in. I was like, oh, that looked really good. Now my hopes are a little bit higher to see what happens. I had heard good things about the gore. Chris and I always talk about this, where I see the musings on Twitter from people that are watching these films when they come out. And it was the same. It's silly fun. The gore is great. And I'm like, that's fine, but is there going to be anything else to kind of latch on to?
The gore being great only carried us so far. Looking at you, Halloween Kills.
Or Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, fair. Also fair. Oh, boy. It's, yeah. I think for me, it's, again, as someone who's a fan of the Foo Fighters, I haven't kept up with them recently as much as I used to. I mean, there was a time, I kid you not, when Learning to Fly was my alarm clock song in the morning. That's how much I liked the Foo Fighters. I saw them live in, I want to say it would have been sometime pre-2008, but post-2005. And they were okay. I think the venue I saw them in wasn't great. The American Airlines Center is not exactly the best venue for seeing live music because it's not made for music. It's an American Airlines Center. It's for basketball. That's where the Mavs play. So as someone who likes the Foo Fighters but have kind of fallen out with keeping up with their music, I didn't even know this movie was coming out until I saw a preview for it, and I was like, what the fuck is this movie? And then it was one of those things where I forgot about it, and then Andy was like, on one of our many calls, he was like, oh, I watched.
Hey, this is Jason Kleberg from the Force 5 podcast, a show that forces a guest to come up with a movie-themed top 5 list topic, and then we reveal our picks on air. Top 5 heist films, top 5 tearjerkers, top 5 movie dogs. Every show you'll be asking yourself, what would be on my list? Guests include directors, screenwriters, actors, podcasters, musicians, authors, and even a professional wrestler. Subscribe to the Force 5 podcast, and you won't just be a listener, you'll be a list nerd. The Force 5 podcast, available wherever you're listening now.
Studio 666, and I straight up said, what is that? Again, I had seen a preview for it. I knew what it was. I just completely forgot. So knowing that this is a Foo Fighters horror movie, more aptly, again, a Dave Grohl horror movie, I think it came as close as it could to satisfying my expectations, and in some ways it exceeded them. But I think for the most part, it's like a little too long. You don't need to make an hour 45, hour 50 horror movie, Foo Fighters. I mean, I get that they were trying to tell a story, a cohesive story with some twists and turns. I think we'll get to the end when we get to it. But I think I'm kind of just like, I've seen it once. If I'm going to watch something like this, you know what? If I'm going to watch something like this that has kind of these undertones to it, there's one movie of these I will watch, and it leans into something else that this movie kind of has. This is a horror comedy. The movie I'm talking about is a comedy movie with some horror elements, that movie being Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny, which also features Dave Grohl as the devil in that movie at the end. Obviously, Dave Grohl is a much bigger part in this movie, but I was thinking, like, what could you watch with this as a double feature? Like, to go the comedy route, it would be Tenacious D. And then I think to go the horror route, and I don't know, kind of, I've been trying to think what style they were trying to ape throughout the entire movie. Maybe it's more like Polanski with Rosemary's Baby. I don't know, like, they weren't overdoing it with the style in like a haunted house movie. It was kind of a weird mix of, I don't know, like Andy mentioned, there is kind of this Evil Dead sensibility to it also, but also like there is it's a haunted house, like the house is haunted part of it too, which is kind of where it starts. So, but I think pre-spoilers, I think if you're a fan of the Foo Fighters, you're probably going to already watch this. If you're a fan of horror movies, is this the best horror movie I've seen this year? I think the best horror movie I've seen this year is still Scream 5, as of right now. So, I mean, it's not been a lot of competition.
Yeah. It's really nothing.
At least not
right
mainstream stuff. I mean, we're only in month 4 of the year, but I think by this time last year, Conjuring 3 had already come out, so, which was, just okay, but yeah. I think Conjuring 3 is better than this movie.
Go listen to that episode of the Kulturecast.
Yeah, right. Where we talk about all 3 Conjuring movies.
I wrote, my last note was, this was at least 20 minutes too long.
Oh, Jesus.
The effects are stellar throughout. So those are my kind of big takeaways from this. And like you mentioned, Andy, the end, it's one of those movies where you have at least 3 spots where it could have, and you can argue should have ended, but I think if it had ended at the pool, which is where I thought it was going to end as well, you wouldn't have had that callback to the beginning of the film. Like, why is the manager and the other gal that he's talking to on the phone, which I guess is the real estate agent. I'm not sure if I am making that connection correctly. Why are they so big on getting them into this house? Because he's like, oh yeah, I've got the place. Yes, let's like. They're waiting for somebody to want to do something like this so that they can get people into the house to finish this ritual to bring the devil incarnate or whoever,
So the goal was to make rock music relevant, right? That was
evil again, right?
Evil again, right. Yeah.
Okay, so make rock Satan again.
Yeah, make it the devil's music again, which is what it's always been.
Of all bands to rely on, the Foo Fighters.
The most demonic of bands.
You couldn't do this with Ghost or somebody,
I know. Okay, so let's talk spoilers here, but I did want to mention that. Why wasn't it somebody who already has that angle? Like for
because it was Dave's idea.
Because Dave Grohl wrote the story.
No. I mean, all of that aside, I think the bigger question is, the thing that cracks me up is we have this now, a Foo Fighters movie that's a horror movie. I think now we need a movie with Ghost. The rest of the band is like oddly okay with the band not sounding like it ever has before. They're just like, I guess this is fine. Like, what?
But to be fair, though, they were also trying to find like a new thing that they hadn't done. Because remember, he was like, I'm out of ideas. And at some point, he was even playing a Lionel Richie song.
It's the big 10th album, and it's got to be something big and special and
real exciting.
It seemed more like the band they were really playing into, this is Dave Grohl and the backup band.
Right. Yeah.
And they sort of play that role in the film, all of them, like just do whatever Dave wants and let's get this done. You know, they don't very early on, they're ready to leave immediately and get out of there and just finish it in the studio. And it's like, no, we got to get, the backing stuff on it, at least recorded here. It's a plot contrivance to keep the story going is basically how I took it. And Chris, you mentioned like, what were they going for as far as the horror elements?
Right.
Like, you've got those demon spirits, I guess, the little black figures, which were pretty cool. I mean, that was obviously CGI, but they were done fairly well.
Those are like the shadow people. From
they were scary.
They were well done. And
that's what that reminded me of.
Of what?
The shadow people from that documentary about lucid dreaming.
Oh, the nightmare.
It's like the shadow people. It's like that same thing. It's that same kind of.
Well, they also looked like the demons from Demon Knight, the Tales from the Crypt film.
Oh yeah. They do kind of do.
It was giving me those vibes. So I was really into the way those shadow demons appeared in the film.
Yeah.
You had a little too many things going on. You had those guys who are obviously the minions of whatever this supernatural forces at the house. Then you have the gardener, the killer gardener of Encino, who we find out was the leader of this band. But the nods to, like, specific nods to horror films that I caught were Evil Dead with the Necronomicon style book, plus just them going, you could say it's a cabin in the woods film.
Yeah.
It's a house in Encino, but it's surrounded by woods and crazy neighbors. And there was a very specific shot of the gardener with his hedge clippers that's like straight from The Burning.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
They sort of fucked up the Exorcist riff with Will Forte walking up the stairs and stopping and looking up into the light shining down from the window. But there was a big, huge tree like between him and the window. So it wasn't like a full on, you don't get the like beam of light casting down on him. But
they really did fuck it up then, because I didn't even make that connection.
I have to assume that's what they were going for. I mean, the tree kind of killed it. It's like
in a demonic possession film. I'll go with that as well.
Right. Yeah.
And those are fun. I actually, as someone who doesn't care for many horror comedies, I felt like they could have gone goofier with this.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And that's my thing, is like, it's not a funny movie. It's a horror movie. Like, it's a horror movie for the most part.
But you know that they're goofing too. And it's like,
it's just because they're bad actors, right? I think it's just because they're bad. I think it's just because they're not actors. I don't know.
I mean, I can appreciate when he was promoting it, he said it was great because it just felt like a bunch of friends making a movie. And I can appreciate that, but it also looks like what he said. It looks like a bunch of friends just made a movie, and
a really expensive looking movie.
Yeah, because I was like, wow, Lionel Richie and Carrie King from Slayer, and like these little, because Dave Grohl is pretty cool with everyone.
John Carpenter's in this movie.
Fucking Carpenter. Yes, exactly.
John Carpenter's in this fucking movie, which was mind blowing to me.
Yeah, he also did the score for it. So I was impressed with all that. I was like, wow, let's be honest, it's Dave and his connections of making all these things happen. I was like, I would have really put forth the effort and say, well, let's make this a really great fucking film. And let's make it, if we're going to make it comedy, let's go balls to the wall and just make it grindhouse cinema, and just make it an all-out gore fest with rock and roll, and we can play up, because the Foo Fighters are essentially a parody of themselves by this point. So that would have been a really great way for them to play that up as well. I think, like what you were saying, they could have gone even further with the wackiness, because Dave Grohl has really great facial expressions, and that scream,
God, yeah.
when he screamed when he was having that nightmare, was fucking hilarious.
See, there was stuff like that where it was like, go more with that. Like, I felt like a lot of times the scene stopped and I was saying the funny line, and I'm not like, hysterically funny or anything, but it felt like if this, and I don't know if they were, but if the people that wrote the script were there and said, well, hey, why don't you say this after that happens? End it on a punchline. It felt to me like there were a lot of missed opportunities for funnier lines than they were going for. And I don't know if it was the case of, well, maybe we shouldn't make this too goofy, but
why? But I don't understand why not.
Yeah, it worked for This Is the End.
The funniest part of this movie is Pat Smear, right? Like, I would even say the best part of this movie is Pat Smear. Like, he's effortlessly both charming and funny, and also just like a total goof. And
his line of "dude, what the fuck," that was the best thing for me in the whole movie. His delivery of that line, and it felt to me like they kind of realized that after a while. Not that they shot this movie in sequence, but it seemed like as the movie went on, he was getting more to do.
Yeah,
and it could also be that some of the other bandmates were getting killed, but it's like they realized, okay. And I don't know most of their names. This guitarist really isn't doing all that much. We'll just keep him in the background. The bass player is not really doing all that much. Well, Pat seems to be into this and spouting off some good things. And one of the things that I did read was about Taylor Hawkins, and he said he just threw away the script and improv'd everything. And you can kind of tell that in his 5 lines that he has.
Literally. Of all the band members, he's the one with the least amount of presence, which is kind of the, like, in hindsight, like, again, him passing now is kind of shines a different light on this, but of all the band members, he does the least. He's the least represented throughout the movie.
I was surprised by that, because I always thought he was one of the more charismatic members of the band whenever I would see performances and stuff. Because he wouldn't just sit behind the drums. He would go out and sing and, just...
Hello, this is Chris Haskell from They Live by Film. For those that don't know us, Adam, Zach, and I, we built a podcast over the last 2 years that's a combination of film discussion from 3 very different perspectives, as well as industry interviews with the leaders in boutique Blu-ray and 4K community. We started with Deaf Crocodile, but over time we've been lucky enough to speak with Arrow Video, Severin, Mondo Macabro, Vinegar Syndrome, Radiance, Indicator, most of the OCN partner labels. It's been a blast. You can find us wherever you podcast, and also actually recently as part of Someone's Favorite Production Podcast Network. We hope to see you online.
Hello and welcome to Tumbleweeds and TV Cowboys. My name is Hunter. In this podcast, I'll be joined by a different guest each week to discuss a classic Western movie or TV show. I've been a fan of classic Westerns for as long as I can remember, and in recent years, they've become very nostalgic for me. I love the aesthetic, the tropes, and I love seeing different filmmakers' takes on them. At their best, they're incredibly entertaining, rewatchable, and some of my all-time favorite movies are Westerns. We'll mostly focus on Western movies made in Hollywood, but we'll also be covering spaghetti Westerns, and one thing I'm very excited to get into are Western TV shows. I've got some amazing guests coming on the show, film professors, historians, and podcasters. And Tumbleweeds and TV Cowboys is part of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network, and many guests on the show will be from other shows on the network. Thanks for listening.
Just because of his passing, it just reminded me, I see all these clips of him performing these songs like with Queen and all this other stuff. And
do you think it had anything to do with it actually being a film that they were doing? Maybe he was just like clocked out, didn't really want to do it.
Yeah, I get, yeah.
Could have been over it and was
if you threw away the script, I would say you're probably not.
Like he probably was thinking, all right, let's do Dave's little movie so that we can get back to touring and whatever. That's where I really care about.
Yeah,
because this shit is just so silly. Probably wasn't on board for it from the beginning. maybe that's why he's not in that many scenes. And all his stuff, like you said, I didn't know was improv, but I could tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like you mentioned earlier, it's got that Friends making a movie vibe where, and kind of that, and it's not necessarily a modern thing, because I know they did this in movies decades ago as well, where you just keep shooting like improv lines until you get one that's where you get
that's the
one
thing I
that's
think of anymore that did it right.
Right.
That Ghostbusters movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just riff until you get something that works, and then we'll put that thing in there. And again, I don't know if that's what they did, but it felt like that at times.
Especially at the beginning of the movie. That first scene in the office with Jeff Garlin, of all people.
Yeah. Yeah, thankfully he's not in it that much.
No, but you know what? He's playing a real asshole of a character.
Is he a bad guy?
Yeah.
In real life?
I think so.
He got kicked off the Goldbergs for inappropriate conduct.
Oh. Well, I've never seen the Goldbergs. I know he's on it, though.
Yeah, I catch every, 10 episodes, probably. If my wife is off doing something else at that time and there's something else on, I'll catch a little bit of it.
It's one of those shows.
But I did see the recent clip of the daughter on that show gets married. And so of course he, as the dad, needs to be there to walk her down the aisle, right? Because I don't know that they've really explained his absence on the show or not yet. They probably have. I just don't know. It's total CGI of him on somebody else's body, his face, and then other shots. It's a body double, like from the back. It's so obvious and awful.
I only know him. I guess I only know him for playing a dad, because he was the dad in Paranorman and the dad in The Rocker, which I forced. At this point, I'm just going to say I forced Chris to watch.
I enjoyed it. It was good.
See, that's a rock comedy.
Yeah.
But I will say I chuckled 3 times during this movie.
Yeah, I think that's
so few. It was 3.
I think it was 3. One was Dave Grohl screaming. The other was Dave Grohl's face when the gardener disappeared, because he just looked so fucking I don't even know. I can't do the Dave Grohl face. And the third was, oh wow, they all have to do with Dave Grohl. Was when the guy was like, "Here, we'll just meditate," and Dave's staring at him really calmly, and then out of nowhere he just goes, "Fuck meditating," It was just the funniest shit. But after that, I don't think I laughed anymore, because I was okay, the funny stuff is cute, but where's this going? Because I've already forgotten what the plot is. I don't know really what's going on. And then when the plot was revealed that that's why they were there, I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to sound like a jerk or anything, but I didn't give a fuck. I was like, I don't.
I think you're. Well, that was for me. That was the issue of the movie. When you think of these exorcism movies or these demonic possession movies, it's a lot of the times, and this is one of these movies, kind of like Hereditary, kind of like Rosemary's Baby, where you see things out of context that don't make any sense, and then at the end of the movie, it's kind of and then we close the bag on you and we cinch it tight, and like in Hereditary, it's right there at the end of the movie. Rosemary's Baby, it's that final scene where the baby's in the pram. I mean, but you gotta land that moment, and this movie doesn't. It just fucking fails completely. It just goes, yeah, you're here to do a ritual, but the blood is the sacrifice, but not. But then things happen, but not. And also, that's not what it was. And I just am sitting there going, you had 3 opportunities to end this fucking movie. Pick one of the 3 and stop muddying your narrative and your formula and your structure, and stop exposition dumping in the last 10 minutes of your movie. Holy shit.
Okay, the band that was murdered at the beginning, they're back and they're stopping the guy.
Good? Are they bad?
I don't know. And then I was like, okay, well, that was a cute wrap up. And then it was nope. Leslie, I think she's hilarious. I forgot her name, but she plays the realtor. She showed up and I was like, okay, that was obviously her before they even revealed it. And then the label guy, and then he revealed what the whole plan was. By that point, like I said, I didn't care. So I was like, let's wrap this up, Dave. And then Dave is on tour as a solo act. And I was like, and the movie just ends there. I was like, that's where you end it? Where nothing's happening?
Well, and that's the thing. That's the other thing about this movie that I find kind of as an affront, as someone who likes horror comedies and comedy horror movies, the ending of this film is neither a horror comedy nor a comedy horror. It is a straight horror movie ending.
Yeah.
That is how you end a horror movie that you make about a band that actually dissolves because of the lead singer being possessed by the devil.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's how you end this movie. And the problem is, that's not what this movie is. It could have been that, but it would have had to have been a hell of a lot more serious, and people would have had to have not been taking the script and throwing it in the garbage to get to this point. I'm not trying to be a dickhead, but if you're trying to make that movie, if that's what they were going for, they really fucking failed.
Well, and I don't think so much because, like, you guys talked about it, but I'm not a Foo Fighters fan. I'm not an anti-fan either, though. Like, I appreciate it and everything, but the music does nothing for me. But I do like Dave Grohl, and he did that Hot 100s promo where they eat the hot wings and, you know, they're being interviewed. I thought he was hysterical on that. And he was promoting Studio 666. So I was expecting a lot of funny to come from this film.
I mean, the music video that Mark's talking about is fucking... The people behind that have comedic sensibilities. The Learning to Fly music video has comedic sensibilities. And, oh, by the way, it's almost like we've come full circle and they even mention it in this goddamn movie. The Everlong music video is inspired by Evil Dead to the point where they have, like, the cabin from Evil Dead is represented in the music video.
Mm-hmm.
And that's scarier in that 30-second, minute-long segment of that music video. That's scarier than this entire movie. It has a lot more, like, nuance to what they're trying to do than this movie does. And it's just weird because, like you said, I know that the Foo Fighters can be funny. I've seen their music videos. A lot of their early music videos are really funny. And then you get, like, this? Like, what, did you guys become unfunny, or did you just have somebody write? Was somebody writing your jokes better in the 90s, I guess?
Maybe. I don't know. It could have... I mean, imagine if it was, like, directed by Rob Zombie. It looks like a Rob Zombie film.
If you're going to have Whitney Cummings and Will Forte in it and have this history like you're mentioning, Chris, that's why I expected more funny as well.
Like 100%.
Not like you don't have to be ridiculous and over the top, but I was expecting a lot more one-liners, a lot more, oh, what the fuck is that thing? You know, they played the horror almost too straight, and which it seems like I would appreciate, but I didn't. I wanted them to be doing the high-pitched scream the whole time, which makes me laugh. And when they did do it, that's when I chuckled a couple of times. You mentioned the one with the dream, and I think Pat Smear has a nice scream towards the end when they're running around. But that always makes me laugh. Men giving off a high-pitched scream in a horror movie will kill me every time. And
Ghostbusters.
Yeah, right. And the middle, I think I wrote down, we're 50 minutes in and not a whole lot has happened. That the stretches of them, or not rehearsing, I guess, trying to record went on for way too long.
Yeah, those scenes were actually the most boring to me.
Yeah, to me as well. Like, I get it. I get the sound. We've got the L sharp note that he's created or whatever. And they're playing this song that may or may not ever end. But it doesn't have to feel like it's unending to the audience. And if you're going to have those scenes of them rehearsing, again, add either a comic element to them or a horror element to spice it up a little bit. I don't need to hear this song rehearsed over and over and over again.
Yeah, because you take out the demonic part of it, and it's just a band arguing about a song that they're trying. We're watching a band rehearsal,
right, which is not very.
Which sucks because because in other aspects of the film, it is visually a fun movie to look at. It's in broad daylight. I love gore in broad daylight in films, and they could have taken it in like a Scooby-Doo approach, where they do want to find. They're there to record an album, but they never really get around to it because they're staying in a haunted place. They're not allowed to leave because the label won't let them. So now they're stuck here, and now one of them's possessed. We got to find out which one is possessed, but at the same time, You know what I mean? And have them searching around this house together and, where's Dave?
You know
and
what movie you're literally talking about that's a better music-based horror movie? Fucking Club Dread. You're literally describing Club Dread.
Is it?
Like they're Scooby-Dooing, going around. Yeah. And that movie's amazing. I'm sorry. Like
Never seen it.
Club Dread is a good horror movie that also happens to be funny, and a good funny movie that also happens to have people getting fucking mutilated and eviscerated.
Yeah.
I love Beer Fest. I love Super Troopers, but Club Dread, like, I think it's probably like the most under the radar one because those other ones people know of. Club Dread kind of got forgotten, but Club Dread should also be in this conversation of like movies that have music, because the whole conceit of that movie is it's an island owned by a fake Jimmy Buffett character who happens to be played by Bill Paxton, which is as amazing as it sounds. And he actually recorded songs as Coconut Pete and released them on a small vinyl. How do I know? I own the fucking vinyl. It's that good. It's Club Dread is a better version of this movie. Tenacious D is a better version of this movie.
Yeah.
There's a better version of this movie in the script somewhere. I genuinely believe this script needed like 3 more rewrites, like 3 more times through, 3 passes through, and I think they could have winnowed it down to something a little bit more manageable because, those scenes with the rehearsing, that shit needs to get cut out by half, at least by half.
That's where that extra 20 minutes could have been excised.
They could either just like be like it was a one-time thing and it is what it is. Or it could be one of those films where the first one was meh, but the sequel is like what it's all about. You know, like we did the Foo Fighters thing. Okay, fine. The second one could be what you were talking about. You know, it's a big concert and featuring Ghost or something, and really try to commit to actual actors to be in it. I'm not aware of too many horror music-based films. Are there that many?
There's Trick or Treat. There's Rock and Roll Nightmare.
Phantom of the Paradise, kind of. Phantom of the Paradise is a scary movie than this is.
Yeah. I forgot about Trick or Treat with where Gene Simmons and Ozzy Osbourne are on the cover to promote the film.
And Skippy from the hell was the name of that show that Michael J. Fox was on? Family Ties. Skippy from Family Ties is the lead in that.
Is he?
What's Kiss Meets the Phantom?
Kiss Meets the Phantom. Yeah. There's been a good handful.
Sammy Curry was the name of the rocker or something like that. Then he dies. That's a cool movie. I'm surprised no one's ever touched that. There's a Trick or Treat.
Oh.
Yeah, I haven't watched that in
It's an 80s. I think it's an 80s film.
Mm-hmm. Like mid to late 80s.
Yeah, he's like
probably later 80s, I think.
A bullied teenager listens to this heavy metal rock star, and then that rock star dies, but he's brought back through the records being played, or he's coming.
Cool.
Yeah, his music, his spirit is coming back through the music to influence this kid who's being bullied to help him, but really it's just so that he can come back, I guess.
Inspired concert movie if they hadn't killed off the rest of the band.
Right.
As it is now, it would have to be him and his new backup band, or they could all come back. Here's what they do. He starts the concert, gets into the vibe of the evil. His bandmates end up reappearing because of the conjuring, and then they slaughter everybody in the audience.
So it's Studio.
It's got to be a small gig, though.
Yeah, Studio 666 Battle of the Bands.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. There's a film I would watch.
You know what? The issue with the way this movie ends is it ends on such a
weird.
It's such a weird note.
That was weird.
It's so serious. It's like, what the fuck? Like you're gonna go on a solo career and you don't care that your band members died and blah. It's like, what the fuck?
Isn't that the whole point though? Isn't that the whole point?
I guess
you get that through the movie. It's Dave Grohl's movie.
Sure.
It's his band.
Right. Yeah.
He's the prima donna. He's persnickety about where the drums placed in the room to get the proper acoustics. They play that up quite a bit. So I was a little bit surprised. Well, I wasn't surprised once Pat Smear got under the van. I'm like, well, he's dead next.
Yeah, boy, isn't he? Just put your head right underneath that wheel, my friend.
And that was a good special effect too. Great edit. And
you know what though? It bums me out. The band members don't really act that upset that they're dead, that each of them are dying, you know? Like, that was the other, again, that's the issue with this movie's tone. It's like, either your band members dying is horrifying, because they're all dying in these, like, pretty gruesome ways. Again, like, the gore is pretty good, obviously. Or there's, like, some comedy to it, but it's still horrifying. Like, it's, like, the movie can't figure it out. Because, like, everybody dies in pretty graphic ways. Taylor Hawkins gets partially decapitated. The guy
chainsaw scene.
Yeah, the guy with Whitney Cummings. Holy shit. I mean, what...
That was pretty good.
Hey, Mark, what's that a reference to? My God, the biggest reference, I think, in the entire movie. Just ripped Friday the 13th off wholesale. But it works. Like, it works. Works 100%.
But with the chainsaw, even better.
Yeah. You know, but, like, it's either horrifying that your band members are dying, or it's, like, horrifyingly hilarious.
Yeah.
They can't figure out which one it is.
Well, because, like, Tucker and Dale did it.
Right.
Right. Very well. Yeah.
Where they balanced that it's hysterical because the characters have no idea why these teens are dying all over what is going on?
Similar to Club Dread. It's like, it's horrifying, but, like, the ways that they're dying is, like, horrifyingly hilarious.
Yeah.
And this, it's like really fucked up. Like, the way that they're dying is not funny. Like, it's pretty gruesome and graphic.
Yeah, and Dave's eating them.
Yeah.
Okay, that part bothered me because the guitarist gets killed on the grill.
Yep.
They kind of half-assed look for him and then just go like, I guess he left.
And then they see him eating.
And then they look down there and he's eating a full corpse. But they don't make the connection.
Yeah.
But they don't make the connection. Like, oh, that's
a human
Skiffy
rib cage.
or whatever
That's
his name
a human
is.
rib cage.
That's full-on rib cage.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand what is the tone. Either it's horrifying or horrifyingly hilarious. They're not like, oh, I guess he's gonna be.
That's where a line.
Right.
That's where they needed a good punchline about the guitarist.
Right.
Being eaten, but it just went like completely unnoticed. And I thought, well, that was a missed opportunity.
Well, then Dave Grohl gets a line where he's like, he did know how to make good barbecue. And it's like, but you gotta have the other line with that. You gotta have the other part where they set up the first part of the joke and he finishes it.
Right. Exactly.
Even if the jokes are like so like only fucking like musicians would get it. Because like, be fair, who's this film really for?
That's the other question I have. Who is this film for?
Because it's like even esoteric jokes could be like, I would have taken it. Like when they killed the drummer, they say, oh, that's a shame. He was the real backbone because or something.
Of the band.
Yeah, something stupid. You know what I mean? Because I'd have been like, I get it. It's really stupid.
I don't know who that was for, because I have friends that are horror fans that like didn't even know what the fuck this movie was. I was like, have you heard of this? And they were like, what are you talking about? I was like,
well, I'm all about movies like this happening. I'm for movies like this.
Oh, me too. I'm all for it, but like a better idea. A better idea is needed. A more fine-tuned idea. Because like,
what if it was like From Dusk Till Dawn? Just all out splatterfest,
I would have been. From Dusk Till Dawn's a funnier movie than this is.
Yes, it is, and the gore is. You feel like you've watched a gore fest, but really it's just green blood everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, Demon Knight's kind of like From Dusk Till Dawn. So it's the same thing.
Essentially, yeah, it's the same.
They're the same movie.
Although, how great is what's his face in that?
Billy Zane.
Yes.
Oh, Billy Zane's the only reason you watched that Demon Knight.
He's fantastic. No, it's not.
Because even Mark was kind of filled with trepidation to watch it. I
may bother with this someday, but a rock and roll horror movie is that's a super niche subgenre.
Yep.
Most of those movies we mentioned earlier or that have been mentioned, I have not seen or haven't seen in years if they're older ones. So, again, they don't usually hit a nice tonal balance where it's like, and half the time the music isn't really usually very good in them. So I was surprised when he started playing that reel to reel. I was like, ooh, I like this.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I like that heavy sound. And one thing you mentioning, speaking of Taylor Hawkins again, I did like when Dave Grohl made him change his countdown.
Oh yeah.
That was a couple. I'm like, you never do 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a dance thing. I've heard that in songs at the beginning of songs before. I swear.
I wonder why it wasn't. I wonder if it was ever considered an idea to possibly make it a musical, like a rock and roll musical, but then it would have maybe been too similar to Tenacious D.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you're a fucking band.
Yeah.
Make some music for the movie. Like, I don't know. Like,
I don't remember the music.
If I was waiting for lyrics.
Yeah, if I were in, like, that's what I don't get. If like, say the three of us were a band and we were in the same position to have a couple $1 million to make a movie, would we not make a song at least for the movie?
For the soundtrack?
Yeah, for the fucking soundtrack. Or
Studio
no, we're gonna have somebody
soundtrack.
Yeah, like
opportunity missed.
I don't understand at all. Like, of all the things that make no sense about this movie, you have the Foo Fighters, a Grammy-winning, multi-Grammy-winning band who we know are great at what they do, and we know that Dave Grohl is a good frontman for the band, and yet it's just like, okay, what album is this? The concept album of Dave Grohl strumming on the guitar for an hour? Like, who the fuck's gonna buy this anyways?
Yeah, it's the end of Freebird. It's like, now I'm thinking about it, I'm pissed because, like, if I were in that position, I'd be like, we get win-win because we get to make a film, but we also get to write original songs for the film only.
And we may even get to put them in the film and perform them in the goddamn film.
And then we have a soundtrack that only exists for the film, but fans will love it because it's Foo Fighters horror music. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I know what you mean.
And have the other 4 or 5 songs that were played on there. You know, you don't have to have to do a whole album.
No. Just throw them in there for fun.
But here's the fucking wild thing. Dave Grohl recorded an entire album of Dream Widow music for the film.
Okay.
That was released in March.
Oh, huh.
But at the same time, that doesn't change what we're talking about.
It's great Halloween merch.
It's not in the movie.
Son of a bitch. Like, what is it, just John Carpenter's score?
No, it's a band called, it's a made-up band called Dream Widow.
Oh, the one that was murdered.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Right. But at the same time, that, like, again, even if that exists, that's not in the movie.
Well, you could have them as, I had Demon Widow, but whoever.
Yeah, Dream Widow, I guess.
Have 3 or 4 songs as them. Mm-hmm. Have 3 or 4 Foo Fighter songs that they complete, during their rehearsals. Have those on there, or just even have a song about the movie on your, inspired by the movie. It wouldn't even have to be movies that we heard in the songs that we heard in the movie, although that would be, I think, preferential. And then the other heavy metal songs that they played, there were a couple of other tracks on there from real bands. Yeah, I think Slayer.
And what would have been hilarious is they throw in also, just for fun, that Lionel Richie song.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like, that would be funny. It's like, that is the weirdest soundtrack. And then in between are little funny sound bites from the film.
Right.
And
that's a soundtrack.
That is a soundtrack. Studio 666. It's like, oh man, that would have been awesome. And I would have bought it too. Even if I didn't like the film that much, I'd be like, the soundtrack is awesome.
You've got John Carpenter's theme at the beginning. You've got these 3 songs. You've got these 3 songs.
Fictional band songs. And oh man, that would have been great.
It's so strange to have the Foo Fighters in your movie and Dave Grohl never opens his mouth to sing.
Hello, this is Aaron West. I am the author of the A24 New Wave. In this book, I look at A24's output and I make the argument that we are in a new wave movement right now. A24 plays a major role. This book has a supplemental podcast where each episode is a brief conversation about an A24 related topic, whether an actor, director, or even a genre. As I continue research for the book and conduct interviews, I expect to record podcast episodes with people involved with the company. You can find the podcast at cinejourneys.com or wherever you find podcasts, and we are proud to be members of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Yeah, that was weird. At some point, I finally realized, okay, they're not actually going to write a song. Nope. They're not going to play an original song on here. It's just going to be this never-ending instrumental thing. That was the other thing. I saw Jenna Ortega's name on this, and I was like, oh, I've seen her in like 3 things just this past month.
Yeah,
like
she's killing it.
She's becoming, new Scream queen, and then opening scene, ending scene, and that was it for her. So I don't know if this came before the other ones or what, but I was a little disappointed in that.
Or in between projects before they were even released or anything like that.
Yeah.
Because she didn't know her worth yet till Scream 5 came out, and she was like, right. I could have done better.
Scream 5, she's in that X movie. I think there's something else in the works as well.
Oh, so she's the Addams Family. She's going to be...
well, that makes sense.
Yeah. Wednesday.
Oh, wow. Okay.
She has a great face for it, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, criminally wasted here. Again, I couldn't even, honest to God, figure out what the hell the point of the... That was the other thing. It's weird to me that they made a fake album for the fake band that's in the movie that is they forget about it halfway through the movie, and then at the end they're like, oh, no, wait, remember Dream Widow? Remember the whole thing when Dave Grohl went into the basement? Like, oh yeah, remember that now. Because it's weird, because like you mentioned, Mark, you have this gardener character who is Dave Grohl, I guess. Is that? And they show him with the hat on at one point. So it was him because he was possessed. So there's that twist, which is like completely unearned, and it's made to be a big deal, and it's like, who cares? You didn't have to do that. And so at the end of the movie, it turns out that he was the previous band's leading member, their lead singer, and he was trying to summon the devil. And so he shows up at the end after Dave Grohl vomits him out.
Right. That vomit creature was awesome.
That was
until
gross.
It was just a dude.
That was some Hellraiser shit.
Yeah.
When it started forming, I was like, okay, that's good stuff.
Yeah. And then again, it just kind of goes nowhere. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, I think the point is he was the leader trying to do this conjuring, and the rest of the band was not into it, and they were the blood sacrifice that is supposed to make this happen, blah, blah, blah. And then they come back to ultimately stop it. And then he
kills himself to stop it?
Why he's the gardener, I don't get.
But he wasn't the gardener. It was Dave Grohl the entire time. That's what I thought.
Oh, I didn't get that. I just got that he was dressed up as the gardener, and then Dave Grohl, as he's getting possessed now, is the gardener.
You know whose fault that is that we don't know? The narratives, not ours.
Right.
It's so
absolutely.
So much the narrative's fault. Again, this movie could have used 1 or 2 more rewrites just to kind of tighten it up. I mean, why you have Whitney Cummings in this movie not just playing herself? Like, why don't make her a character when she's effectively just playing herself? Why not
That's
just have
what I assumed.
Will Forte in the movie playing himself? Like you're fucking famous. You're the Foo Fighters. Like, why is it like, oh, our random neighbor? Like, not just make it Whitney Cummings. Who gives a shit? Like,
and I could believe. True. I could believe Will Forte has to have an Uber Eats gig on the side. Yeah. So just have him be Will Forte on his side gig, you know?
And Dave Grohl could be like, are you Will Forte? And he's like, yeah, man, I'm having to do DoorDash, but I'm a huge fan of yours. Like,
or he keeps the wig on and he just pretends that he's not Will Forte.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
just in case someone does recognize him.
And then you fast forward to a scene where he's literally disemboweled out in the open, and the band are not freaked out by it.
Yeah,
it's just it's
they're a little freaked out,
but not freaked out enough to be like, we have to leave. If you saw a disemboweled body out in the woods, you'd be like, I'm out of here. I don't give a fuck what Dave Grohl says.
The way he's in charge.
Yeah, the way he keeps them there is. No, we can't call the cops because then this whole place turned into a crime scene, and then we won't be able to finish the record. And it's the record. And they're like, all right, well, fuck the record. I would say fuck the record.
I would say fuck the record too. Like,
I would tell you, Chris, I'm sorry, but there's a dead body on the front lawn.
Disemboweled.
Like, I'm not staying to find out what happens.
Bone Structure's lead singer is dead on the ground.
Right.
Yeah. I love the name of that.
Bone Structure.
I do appreciate that they're all like middle-aged men though, experiencing this horror film because it could have easily been, they cast a bunch of, hot teenagers or people in their 20s. You usually see that in horror films, It's kind of the same thing that Rob Zombie does, is he's always casting people in their 50s and their 60s to be the victims and, villains of the film, as opposed to just casting good-looking people just for the sake of good-looking people. Not that the Foo Fighters are not good-looking. It's just...
I mean, they're all very good-looking.
It's just funny seeing all these men who are like in their 40s and 50s experiencing horror. It's endearing, is what I'm saying. So I was on board with it. It's just...
I appreciate older people in horror films as well.
Yeah.
It hits my demographic.
Yeah.
But also, it's realistic. It's like, why do they have... Is there a cutoff for when the killer will come after people? Because you turn 50, Michael's not after you. If you're a teenager, you're fucked. You know what I mean? It's like...
Yeah. I actually thought that it seemed like the Rami character was going to kind of take off. They were, we talked about Pat Smear kind of getting maybe some, or I talked about him getting fed maybe some more lines later on in the movie. At first, I thought it was going to be him, and not being well-versed in Foo Fighter lore, I had to double check and make sure that he was a member of the band and not an actor stand-in, because it seemed like they were getting ready to play him up like it's kind of
very
the comic.
Jason Mantzoukas, right?
Yeah, and I thought, okay, he's going to be the one that they're going to give all the funny dialogue to, because he's not actually part of the band. Then I looked it up and I was like, oh no, he's part of the band. He's part of the band as well.
He was giving me, I don't know if you've ever seen The League, the show The League on FX, but he was giving me Taco.
That's Jason Mantzoukas.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, same,
totally.
Yeah, exactly.
I liked his heart-shaped chest hair patch.
Oh yeah, that was so stupid. Didn't Dave Grohl wake him up and he was like, "Are those mine?" The
thong.
Yeah, the
thong.
tiger head underwear thing.
He said, "Wake up! I got an idea. Are those mine?"
I don't even know why they didn't just turn. Why was it why demonic possession? Why not be like a slasher in the woods, or they go to a secluded cabin, all of them, to perform. I mean, again, it's Encino, but you're in Encino, a slasher is a little less believable,
right?
Because you have to force them to not be able to leave. That's the problem with this movie. Them not leaving is almost the most unbelievable part of the movie.
I think it's too many ideas, and apparently Dave Grohl is a horror fan. I mean, I don't know if those touches were added either by the script writers or by the director, but the burning, him eating raw meat. And not the dead body, but when they order the steaks and his is rare, that's another Rosemary's Baby nod.
I mean, again, there was that nod to Evil Dead in Everlong, so somebody in the band is a fan of horror.
I assume he's a horror movie fan.
Yeah, and it had slasher aspects to it. Even
I think I would have preferred that it was an outside threat.
Yeah,
zombies
going after all of them.
Yeah,
go the real Evil Dead route, either Cabin in the Woods Evil Dead style or Cabin in the Woods camp slasher style.
Like The Burning.
Like Sleepaway Camp,
and ultimately I think we probably found the ultimate problem with this movie. It's not really a horror movie with the Foo Fighters. It's a horror movie with Dave Grohl and the rest of the band. It really should have been the band is together throughout the entire movie, because that's where the charisma...
Getting picked off.
That's where the excitement, that's where the character building and the funny lines can come from, is the interplay, all of them being freaked out by this crazy shit that's happening, not Dave Grohl antagonizing the band. Again, that's not a funny premise. That's a real horror movie's premise. Which, again, if you want to do that, not saying you can't make a real horror movie, but, if you're going to do that, write it better.
Also, why was that guy sleeping... What was the reason for the guy sleeping in the kitchen? I was so confused.
He said it was comfortable. Yeah,
the place Pat Smear can sleep is on the ground.
It became a running joke that had no.
I didn't know where it was going or where it came from.
It was so that they could have the gag of him looking dead. That was the entire reason.
Okay, but see, that's been done so many times, and as someone who has worked in special makeup effects, Caro syrup and food coloring does not look like ketchup. So it's always been done that way, where because he's laying there. and she sees the blood and she's like, oh my God, and then he sits up and he's like, oh, hey. And it's an empty bottle of Heinz, but it's clearly not ketchup that's coming out of it.
No, it's Caro.
It's fucking Caro syrup.
The other thing in that scene that made me laugh was they showed the house all dirty in that one scene.
Yeah.
And then they're like, the house is clean throughout the rest of the movie. It's like, what?
I just had a thought, Chris, back to your, what they could have done if it was an outside threat and they're getting picked off, yet they have to finish this song for whatever reason. If it's to get rid of the demon horde, let's say.
Sure.
And that becomes the struggle is, okay, well, we don't have a drummer anymore. How are we going to finish the song? Now our guitarist is gone. How are we going to, and then they've got to figure out ways. Well, now you have to play this part.
Only you can finish the song.
Right. You're multi-instrumentalist.
Exactly. I mean, that's how you have the movie run through Dave Grohl at the end. Yeah. It's like, only you can finish it, Dave. And then in the end, the band survives and everybody has a happy day and that's it. Like, this is like, the nihilism that this movie kind of has for itself is odd. Because again, like,
it wanted to be too many things at the same time.
It should have been a fun horror movie, not a serious
I thought it was going to get reversed at the end when they got rid of the baddie, that everybody would come back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
I was not
it's such a serious horror
the
movie.
Solo.
Like, no, those people are dead.
They're fucking dead.
But it kind of made me laugh. Like, oh, well, this was his ultimate goal, is to be a solo artist, right? So I guess that's the joke.
Silver lining.
Yeah, for him.
What if the outside force was Medea? Just a crossover.
Foo Fighters and Medea
Halloween film crossover
with the Foo Fighters.
Medea. I'm like, it's Medea.
Yeah, Medea.
It took me a second to.
I mean, Medea's had zombies in her movie.
Hallelujah.
Not really. That's also a horror comedy that was opportunity missed, because I thought that because the Medea films are not good, but they're charming. And when they announced the Halloween one, the trailers made it.
Have you ever wanted to dive deeper into the horror movies you love? Beyond the Blood is a horror podcast for fans who want more than just surface level screams. We do deep dives into the movies that shaped us, digging into director commentaries, behind the scenes stories, deleted scenes, and the special features that most people skip. Each episode is a love letter to the genre. We break down how these films were made, the creative risks that paid off or didn't, and the lasting impact they've had on the genre as a whole. From 70s slashers to modern nightmares, we celebrate the craft, chaos, and characters that keep us coming back. If you're the kind of fan who rewatches movies with the commentary on, or you simply grew up in the video store horror aisle, the Beyond the Blood podcast was made for you. New episodes every single week. Subscribe, and let's dig deep. Welcome to the Beyond the Blood podcast.
Looked like it was a zombie film. So I was like, oh, okay, Tyler Perry's going B-movie with his Medea character, which is fucking perfect. I was like ready, and then it wasn't. They weren't zombies. It was all a big prank and just a lesson to be learned. And
God bless.
Yeah, and it was like, that was it. Like, it was just opportunities here, man. I was like, really, really go there. Like, just make it a Medea horror film. But I'm thinking, crossover wise, what if that was the outside force? Was just Medea won't let them out of the house until she was hired by the label to keep them in the house.
Hallelujah, indeed.
With her gun that she never shoots.
She could just be floating around every window when they try to escape.
Yeah, like just chilling. Yeah. Hello.
What I genuinely wonder is, why make the movie this way when it probably wasn't that much fun to make it this way to begin with? Wouldn't it not have been more fun to just be all together on screen, running around from zombies and shit? Like, doesn't that sound more fun than like this?
It kind of gives that vibe, doesn't it? It doesn't look like it was fun to make.
No, it feels like this is, like you kind of mentioned, Andrew and Mark, like maybe they're just like, I don't really care. Like
this is all Dave's idea.
Yeah, another Dave project.
It was a funny idea. Well, because he even joked about it. He said it was an idea that he had, and before he knew it, it snowballed and like, oh shit, we're actually making a movie. We actually have to do this now.
Because you're big enough and successful enough, Dave Grohl, that when you have an idea, people actually jump on it.
They're listening.
Here's money. Here's money. They're like, oh, these assholes on a podcast jawing away. Like, no, Dave, someone's going to give you money for you to be in a horror movie with the rest of the Foo Fighters, bro. Like,
and you know he had to break it to the band. Like, guys, I kind of got us into something.
This is my fault. My bad.
I know you guys were going to vacation, but it's kind of like a vacation from playing.
Right. But you got to play your instruments, though, in the movie.
Yeah, a lot.
Or pretend, at least.
Yeah.
And scream and run from demons.
Yeah, I honestly wish that this movie felt as fun as I imagined it would have been in my head. If someone says to you, if you're a Foo Fighters fan, even again, as kind of lapsed as I am, like a horror movie with the Foo Fighters, like the movie that I imagine in my head is infinitely more exciting than this movie, and I felt like it would be closer to what this movie should have been. Because again, like what this movie needed was someone who understands how to balance those two disparate things. Because horror and comedy are far apart, but at the same time, they're very close, but yet at the same time, far away, because it's hard to make a horror comedy. It really is. There are very few successful ones. Horror comedies. Comedy horror movies, different equation completely. But horror comedy is like, if you're able to nail that, like, good for you, because very few people have.
I can count on one hand the number of them that I enjoy.
Is Shaun of the Dead one of them?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Another one, Dead Alive.
And Tucker and Dale versus Evil, which you mentioned earlier.
Oh, Dead Alive.
Dead Alive, the Peter Jackson movie.
Gosh, yeah, I haven't seen that in so long.
Scared the shit out of me as a kid. I didn't know it was a comedy.
Evil Dead 2. Not Evil Dead 1, Evil Dead 2.
Yeah. You know what's funny? You mentioned the trailer earlier, and I think I watched it once, and I believe, and I may be misremembering this, but it was the one thing that made me think I was really going to hate this. At some point, Dave Grohl has blacked out eyes, and it was that really awful CGI
the
blackout
X-Files effect.
And
it's like Supernatural.
I don't think that happened in the film at all, unless I missed it.
It got close at the end, but they didn't do it.
And I thought, okay, are they ever going to do that? And I'm glad they didn't. Yeah. And if they did, I missed it. But I hate that. I hate that blacked out eye thing.
He got those teeth. I just remembered a part that I did laugh hysterically at, only because visually it looked so fucking ridiculous. But it was supposed to. And that was when they were reading out of the book, because they were trying to find out, if Dave is possessed, which, what more proof do you need? But they're like reading like, outbursts and blah, blah, blah. And it's having the flashbacks to all these things that he's done. And then it says can float or levitate or whatever. And it just shows Dave floating in the room and then floating out of the room. That was, okay, come on. That
was the funniest part. That was the funniest part of the entire movie, was that like little flashback scene.
Yeah, because it was silly. It was like, come on, if you saw that in person, that'd be fucking hilarious, don't you think? If Dave Grohl, of all people, just floats in the room and then floats out, making no eye contact with you.
Again, that's what I expected this entire movie was going to be.
One big Dave Grohl joke.
Yeah. Yeah,
more of that.
Not the blacked out eye demons that are associated with super serious weird things.
Yeah.
In
fact, I would have preferred this movie where Dave wasn't the one possessed. I want to see him being the one being chased by demons and things, because his reactions are the funniest part of the whole film.
Point. Like, it should have been a band together. Like, who the fuck thought this was a good idea to break up the Foo Fighters the moment the movie starts? Cool.
And take the funny out of Dave Grohl. But then where does it go then? Because that's the selling point as far as people who like the Foo Fighters. They are fully aware that Dave is funny and the band is funny as well. So when you take Dave and make him like a serious demonic presence, well, the whole time I was just like, well, okay, they're gonna hide there. I hope Dave doesn't find them. As opposed to being like, I hope Dave finds them because he's gotta have like a Freddy Krueger one-liner or something. But no, it was just I hope they're okay. I hope they survive because he's possessed.
Yeah, I think that it was a lot of missed opportunities, and that was the one thing that really surprised me. I'm not laughing as much as not even laughing, just. I'm not hearing as much funny stuff or attempts at humor as I thought there would be in this.
You're not as amused as you thought you might be. I thought I would be at least somewhat amused by this movie. It would do something somewhat interesting.
Yeah.
If it had been 20 minutes shorter, less of the rehearsal, more of the flashback type stuff, it definitely would have worked a lot better, at least for me.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And again, if you're gonna make this movie that effectively nobody is asking for, make it something people can't live without. Like, make it something truly exciting, because nobody was asking for this fucking movie.
I didn't know I needed it until it came out type of situation.
Yeah, as opposed to like, well, maybe they'll do something else, but you know what? Probably not.
Who was the director?
BJ McDonnell, who is it's not a.
He's a cinematographer, right? He's mostly known for cinematography.
I think so.
I think he worked on Rob Zombie's Halloween.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, and Hatchet. I think he shot.
Yeah, Hatchet 3 for sure.
Okay.
So he's worked with Adam Green.
Yeah.
So
that's cool. It could have gone that type of direction.
Right. I mean, again, Adam Green stuff, like
Hatchet, where the violence is over the top violent, but the characters are funny.
Yeah.
And it never loses track of that, at least in the first film.
Yeah. It's a very hard line to toe, and they get close in this. I just feel like they needed to be funnier.
Yeah. Yeah, if everybody was as funny as Pat Smear was, I think we'd be enjoying the movie a lot more than we did.
I thought he was adorable.
Yeah, he's great. Just like the total,
dude, what the fuck?
He just doesn't want to be there, wearing his fucking nightgown and his nightcap. Surprised they didn't give him a fucking teddy bear to cuddle up with.
Oh.
Yeah, I was trying to think, I mentioned, this is probably, this is not my favorite horror movie of the year. So far this year, it's been pretty slim pickings, right? I know it's only April.
I'm trying to think of what I've seen that's recent.
Fresh was pretty good.
Yeah, I haven't watched that yet. Oh, I watched one. I don't think it's from this year, though. It was a Welsh film called The Feast that was fucking trippy as heck. It's on Hulu right now.
Okay, yeah, I've seen the artwork for it.
And it's subtitled because they speak Welsh. So that was pretty cool.
Interesting. Yeah, for the mainstream stuff, it really has been Scream, Texas Chainsaw, and and what was the other one that we've mentioned a couple times now? I guess this and Fresh. And X.
Oh, I still haven't seen X.
Yeah, I haven't seen X either.
And I'm dying to, because those are my favorite type of horror film, is backwoods horror films. So, and Jenny Ortega's in it. So
I thought you were going to say it's a Ty West movie.
And Mia Goth is in it.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
Oh, I love her.
Is that shocking?
She's different looking. She has a very unique look, but she's been in. She was in. Of course, now I think I named a bunch of them to you, Chris, the last time we talked.
You did,
and I can't remember now. Well, she's in Emma with Anya Taylor-Joy, which is not a horror film, but which my family watched and really enjoyed. She's in Cure for Wellness. She's in the Suspiria remake.
Okay.
And she's the one in the Suspiria remake who gets her leg broken in the holes that appear in the floor during that big dance routine thing.
Right. Okay.
And she was in the Nymphomaniac movies.
Oh, the trilogy. Is it a trilogy?
And trilogy or it's either. I haven't watched them. 2 films. She's usually very interesting in films.
I just love your way of describing her. She's different looking.
No, she has it. Yeah, she has a very unique look.
Yeah, you can tell from the trailer.
And a unique delivery. Like her, especially in that Emma movie, it's a period piece and it's, that stuffy English thing.
Mm-hmm.
But she's, I don't know, there's something about her that's captivating to me.
It's like that high fashion look, the no brows kind of.
Yes. Very much looks like a model.
Okay, because it's like unique fashion.
And she's married to Shia LaBeouf.
Yes.
Is she really?
She is, and they have a child together even.
What's her name? Mia
Goth.
That is such a cool drag name.
And I don't know if that's like
if you were a
stage
goth.
name.
That's her real name. That's a shortened version of her full name.
Mia Goth.
Mia Gypsy Mello da Silva Goth. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Well, that's a cool name though.
Yeah. But yeah, she's the one that's in X as like the main person in X, right?
Like the porn star.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think there's like a prequel with her character too. I'm pretty sure she's in the prequel, but somehow, this movie really needed a 20 minutes taken off the top for sure. So,
And that's all it needs, really. 20 minutes taken off and a few more jokes. And I honestly would have been like, I'll give it like a B-,
Yeah, so Andy, final thoughts on Studio 666?
I probably will watch it again, only because those small amount of funny bits that they had were worth it, because it was cute. They were funny moments. There was just like dad humor, okay, and I can appreciate that shit. But like, it'd probably be one of those movies that, like you said, would be like back to back with like Tenacious D if we were having like a popcorn night with like my musician friends, and I said, "Have you seen this film?" You'd probably like it because it has music involved somewhat. I can always appreciate films that have like the business involved, especially if it's like a parody of the business. So I'll probably see it again. So I will say I didn't hate it. I thought it was okay. And yeah.
What about you, Mark? Final thoughts on Studio 666 from the Sunset Strip?
I didn't hate it either.
Yeah.
Like I said at the beginning, I didn't dislike it as much as I thought I would. Just with the going into it thinking, okay, this is a vanity project. Those don't usually work very well.
Nice way of putting it.
And I assumed it was a horror comedy just from the bits that I had seen prior, which don't usually work for me. But the practical effects are really good. I think it has enough going for it that even if you're not a Foo Fighters fan, if you're a horror movie fan, there's enough, I think, in there. You'll see the nods to classic horror films in there. You might enjoy the effects. You should enjoy. It's not, I don't see a situation where I'll watch it again, but it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, I think for me, it kind of boils down to what were they going for? Did they achieve what they were going for? And is it something that I personally was entertained by? I feel like what they were going for, they didn't hit. I think that whatever they wanted to go for, I think they really think they got it. I think that they really think they got something special with this movie. But I don't think that they really hit the mark in regards to the kinds of things that they're going for. I mean, again, they're influenced by a lot of things clearly, but I don't think that they succeed as much as they thought they did. And I think that those kind of failings end up adding up for me to a point where I'm like, it's okay, but the gore, you only get to see one character killed by a musical instrument. I mean, what the fuck? Like, on top of everything else, like, dudes should be getting killed with guitars or I don't know. It's not a requirement.
Missed opportunities.
Yeah, missed opportunities.
It's filled with missed opportunities.
Yeah.
You have instruments that can be deadly.
Yeah.
Use them.
Yeah. And they
You've
did
got
once.
Guys who are known for being goofy and lovable, hit on that some more.
Let them do it.
Hit on rock and roll musician tropes even more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
or they could have played versions of themselves that aren't real.
Right.
Because the world knows that they're lovable guys. So this movie could have been like, oh, well, they're not on camera. They're actually like badass douche kind of guys, you know what I mean?
Kids, or make them all
and it could
stereotypes.
Have been they would have like taken themselves too seriously, and they could have been shot in somewhat of like a grindhouse way, where like like Machete or things like that, where it's funny because it's overacted, it's overly serious. That nobody talks like that. Machete don't text. Just having lines like that would have been really funny. Like they could have gone out and I don't know if you ever saw Eli Roth's Grindhouse trailer for Thanksgiving, where they're just playing up on these really over-the-top horror tropes, where there's like a decapitated body and like the Why are you laughing?
Light meat, dark meat, all will be carved.
Yes. And when he sees the dead body and he touches the blood, which is obviously blood because it's a dead body, he looks at it and he goes, "It's blood." The cop goes, "God damn it."
One of those cops played by Michael Biehn of all people.
Right. So if it could have been Studio 666, a Grindhouse feature where they're all playing badass versions of themselves, where like, Jesus, why didn't Dave Grohl comes off as such a lovable guy on TV? We didn't know he was like fucking Reservoir Dogs behind the scenes, like he's just fully prepared for an apocalypse. And that could have been the film. I'm just thinking of all the different ways that this film could have been done that would have given me something. And this movie's like tip of the iceberg. And I agree with you. I think they nailed it.
I think they really do. Like we made a fake album for the movie. Like, okay,
I don't care.
Yeah, like you didn't give me a movie to care about, so like
I didn't hear it in the movie, so I'm not gonna listen to it.
Exactly. We heard like a snippet of it. That was it. Like that's not good enough. Like again, it's not good enough. Like this is not good enough anymore. Like you gotta, if you're gonna spend money and make a movie with the Foo Fighters, you gotta do better than this. And I'm not saying I could do better, but I know that I would at least edit my script 2 or 3 more times because this needed it. It really, really did.
Well, what do you think about if it was filmed in the way that films like This Is the End was done, where it is that kind of serious, like it's a darker comedy horror tone? You know what I mean?
That's what it should have been.
Like
that's actually that's a very good comparison to make with those guys playing like hyper realized versions of themselves in a apocalyptic, serious.
There's an outside force
just
keeping
like
them in.
Tenacious D. I mean, Jack Black and Kyle Gass are playing themselves.
And it's basically This Is the End.
Not as good because like Emma, what's her name? I love her. Watson comes in. She could have that's what Whitney Cummings' character could have been, is just playing Whitney Cummings. Everyone knows her for being quote unquote that bitch comedian. What if in real life she's just like a sweetheart? You know what I mean? I said in quotes because I don't think she is.
Or she's the badass that saved, whatever. I mean,
let her save the day.
Yeah,
don't turn her into a walking stereotype. Jesus.
They don't call, and she has like a bad line, like, they don't call me Cummings for nothing, or I don't fucking know.
Yeah, this is trapped in a house as themselves with a bad situation going on, demons. This is the end. Mm-hmm. A less successful This Is the End with the Foo Fighters instead of a bunch of dipshit actors.
And then just throw in like the most A-list person you could possibly get just for fun. The same way they did. I mean, he wasn't the most A-list at the time, but I'm just saying, out of nowhere, Channing Tatum appears as Danny McBride's bitch. You know,
get all your music, movie buddies.
Who's the most well-respected rock musician?
They got John Carpenter.
I don't think they had. What's the guy's name? Can't think of his name. Damn it! Oh, fuck it. I just ruined my joke before it happened.
Even Little Nicky had Ozzy Osbourne in it.
Yeah. Oh, see, that's a good one. That's a comedy with horror elements in it.
Yeah, but even that movie had a bit. I mean, I get maybe the Foo Fighters are the A-list celebrities in their own movie.
Well, I mean, like they did Lionel Richie, so like, okay, there's an icon. Use that, you know what I mean, and really use it. But he just showed up as Lionel Richie. It was like, that's my song. You're not taking my song, and then just kind of left.
Don't fuck with my song.
Yeah,
that was pretty fun. That was another pretty funny scene.
Yeah, but
they have moments. There's glimmers of it. There really are. Like throughout, there are these little moments where it's like, I don't know who wrote this part, but you should have given them more time at the typewriter because they were doing some funny stuff.
Yeah.
Not this like self-serious shit about like Dave Grohl wants to be a solo musician.
They don't have James Franco money to go that deep. That was my joke that I was searching for earlier.
You think so? You don't think? Well, I guess maybe.
I don't know. I mean, they probably it's a probably moderately budgeted movie. I think This Is the End was considerably higher
huge.
Budget.
Yeah, especially because at that time those guys were running the show. You know, Franco and Seth and McBride and
Michael
Jonah.
Cera.
Yeah, like all those guys were running the whole fucking show. That makes sense. Foo Fighters isn't running anything right now, so
they're more relevant than they've ever been, and it's almost unintentionally.
Good for them. Good for them.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, you mean that way?
I mean that way.
Oh,
I mean,
sorry.
Was this movie lighten up anything?
No, that's sad. I didn't know that's what you meant. I was like, good for them. Wait a minute.
I was like, what the fuck, dude? Good for them, I guess.
No, that's not what I meant.
But like, they're probably more well known now than they ever have been, unintentionally.
Yeah.
And it's not because of this movie. This movie's not doing any sort of amazing business, which is unfortunate.
Now I'm gonna watch This Is the End today. And
it's just.
You guys are gonna come back and be like, "This Is the End" is also shit, though.
It's not though. That movie is still good.
It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny.
Doing cocaine and slapping Rihanna's ass.
Yeah. See, and that's funny because you think of him as the lovable, quirky kid from Juno and Arrested Development, not as some self-centered prick. Right?
Yeah, it's fair.
Danny McBride is just playing Danny McBride, though.
Yeah, most of the rest of them are kind of just playing
Danny McBride's always just kind of playing Danny McBride in
just some kind of
everything.
Pretentious asshole that doesn't know why no one takes him seriously. He's like the 40-year-old. What's this? That Will Ferrell movie, Step Brothers. Not Will Ferrell, but the other one.
Oh, John C. Reilly.
Yeah, his character in that reminds me of Danny McBride in a way where it's like that man child. Yeah, who's like so fucking entitled, but for no reason. It's like, what did she say in the film? Like, he says he's going to go into the family business. And she's like, but you're a tax attorney. That's what I've been telling him this whole time. I don't know where he gets this entitlement. Like,
well, much funnier movies than this one, huh? Maybe I'll go rewatch This Is the End. I haven't seen it. I've only seen it once, so.
Just watch it in comparison, because it even has a demonic possession scene that is way more funny. He's like, the power of Christ compels you. Does it? Does it, Jay? I got to tell you, it's not very compelling. Like, it's just so stupid. And come on, the devil's dick.
Yeah. Gigantic demon at the end with a gigantic schlong.
Yeah, and who doesn't love that there is like a mini message behind the film. It's not just for the sake. It's a small one. It's just to be a good person. Just be good to your friends and stop being selfish assholes, because they're all from Hollywood and Franco's art is bullshit, and like all these things that don't matter. And finally Jonah's character finally realizes that his friendships mean more to him, so then he gets to go to heaven to be with the Backstreet Boys. And of course, Whitney Houston's I Will Always Love You plays when he finally gets to beam up into... It's just awesome. Come on. That movie is B-movie excellence, but with huge budget.
Yeah.
Just what you've described makes me want to watch it more than I would ever want to watch this again.
Yeah, because he finally realizes, he's like, you can let me go, Jay. Because Jay gets to go to heaven, and he doesn't. And he's like, just let me go. You deserve this. I don't. So he lets him go, and then finally the beam just appears, and Whitney Houston, and he gets to go to heaven.
That goes against that predetermination, Chris, from
from hardcore
Calvinism.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah,
you can't save yourself at the end with one act of goodness. I'm sorry.
I don't know. That's the way cinema works, man. There's a certain subsection of cinema where it works that way.
One act of selflessness does not
I guess
you in the pearly gates.
Yeah, because James Franco's character does it, and then it like goes away really quickly, because he has a selfless moment, so he starts to ascend into heaven,
and then he becomes a selfish asshole again.
Yeah, he's like, "Fuck you guys, I'm going to heaven," and then he falls, and Danny McBride eats him. They turn into cannibals and eat him.
Like I said, I think I'd rather watch that movie than this one.
Watch it, but don't watch The Green Inferno. I don't know why I just thought of that, but have you done any? Have you guys talked about The Green Inferno at all?
No, I try to stay away from Eli Roth movies.
I do too. My girlfriend loves them, and I don't blame her, because I do like Cabin Fever and I do like the Hostel films.
Is all this stuff staying in, Chris? Because I could go on about Eli Roth.
I mean, we could do a whole fucking episode on Eli Roth. We've never touched his movie.
I actually have a soft spot for Eli Roth films. They feel like, to me, they come the closest, and it's probably unintentional. I think he'd probably say it was intentional, to B-movie exploitation films. Have you seen Knock Knock?
Yes.
You know, at every turn you're going, what in the fuck were all these people thinking? It's either brilliant or it's just a total disaster, but I can't stop watching it. Yeah. Like, every line of dialogue is atrocious. Every line delivery is atrocious. And it's the same with The Green Inferno. They're just as poorly acted, both those films, and poorly written, but there's just something about them. Like, I even kind of like the Death Wish remake. For whatever reason.
I saw that. I didn't know that was the Eli Roth. Was that Eli Roth?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. Well, that explained a lot.
This is my fun story with Eli Roth. I belonged to the David Lynch website back in the early 2000s. And this was when Eli Roth was working for him as a assistant of some sort. And he was, David Lynch had a message board. So I would go on there in the afternoons, and Eli Roth was on there constantly talking about this film that he was making that David Lynch was producing, blah, 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 blah. And a couple of years later, my wife and I rented Cabin Fever because I had heard a lot about it. And I was like, oh, shit, this is that movie that guy was always talking about on David Lynch's website. So it's just bizarre. And I believe that David Lynch pulled his name because he does not appear as a producer on that film. But
I like that film, but the jokes did not age well.
No, they have not aged well.
That the racist. It was a joke that was made at the beginning of the film and then has its payoff at the end of the film, and it's supposed to make the character likable. I was like, this is still wrong as hell. What are we talking about? Chris,
there's a lot of yucky stuff in it. Do
you know what we're talking about, Chris?
I've never seen Cabin Fever.
Oh, okay. There's a racist joke made at the beginning of the film, and it makes you think that this guy is racist towards black people specifically, and then we find out, because there's something he says, and then we find out at the end of the movie that he's actually really cool with black people, but that doesn't give him the right to say the things that he said. You know what I mean? So that didn't age well. Aside from that, the gore in that movie is cool. It made me itchy. And
it's pretty gross. The shaving.
Oh, yeah.
That's the scene that always gets me.
The fingering is what...
Oh, yeah.
Chris is like, what?
I've only ever seen... the only stuff of Eli Roth I've seen is the Hostel movies.
I love those movies. Those are great.
Yeah, I enjoy those.
Make that face all you want. They are great. The second one is fantastic.
He's something else, but
Green Inferno, I don't fuck with that movie. I've seen it too many times.
Awful. It's pretty awful.
I would rather just watch Cannibal Holocaust and not even go watch Green Inferno if he's going to just rip it off.
It's literally not a rip off because I've seen Cannibal Holocaust. It is a better film. I guess this movie is inspired by it, but I don't know. You would definitely hate it because it's the same problem as Texas Chainsaw, the recent one. It's so fucking woke for no reason. I don't know what the point was. The rainforest or something?
Right. Yeah, rainforest.
And then, we're going to help these people in the rainforest. And then it turns out that the cause was fake and it was just for publicity. But some people actually did care about the rainforest. But then the people that live in the rainforest are cannibals and try to eat us. So now we're fighting them and trying to kill them. But then we are free. And then in the end, it's like, who are we trying to save? And it's like, I don't fucking know if... I care about the rainforest, but if someone's trying to eat me, I'm going to fuck them up too. I don't care where they're from. So I don't know where that movie was trying to go. Anyways, I just thought about that movie because we were talking about bad movies and Studio 666. Anyways, back to you, Chris.
Eli Roth, ladies and gentlemen. Now known for not directing horror movies anymore because he hasn't directed one since The Green Inferno. So
I thought it was the house with the clock in its walls.
Is that a horror movie?
It's a pretty good movie.
Well, no. But is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
We watched that as a family. We enjoyed it. Much more than the Goosebumps films, actually, which it bears a striking resemblance to.
Especially with Jack Black, right?
I was going to say, it could have something to do with good old Jack Black in it. And then
it's pretty fun. I think it's probably one of his better movies, to be honest with you.
Well, I'm going to have to watch it then.
And he's directing the Borderlands movie, which, there's a movie coming out based on... I mean, look, as someone who played that video game, I don't know, you guys, your response was ones of people who have not played the game, obviously.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's a pretty popular video game that Eli Roth and the guy who wrote the script for Chernobyl worked on together. Yeah, and it's got like Jack Black, Kevin Hart.
Well, Chernobyl's a great miniseries.
I don't know if it's going to translate to a video game with a talking robot, but I mean, maybe.
I don't know. That guy's a good writer.
Weirder thing.
He wrote Chernobyl. He's a good writer.
Gina Gershon's in it, so.
Okay, I didn't even know she was still around.
Yeah, Cate Blanchett. So who knows?
Love Cate Blanchett. Every time I think of Gina Gershon, I just think of Seed of Chucky. That really inappropriate line. You know what I'm talking about. Because how Jennifer Tilly is playing Jennifer Tilly, but Tiffany is also Jennifer Tilly, and it's just this meta film. Have you seen Seed of Chucky?
I've only seen it once, I think.
I don't think I've seen that one. That's one of the Chuckies I've missed.
Okay, where Tiffany's on the phone, and she's pretending to be Jennifer Tilly, but she sounds just like her because it's the same fucking person. But Jennifer Tilly, the real one, is screaming in the background because Chucky's trying to gag her with, a rag or something. And her assistant on the phone says, "Are you okay?" And she says, "Oh yeah, Bound is on. Gina Gershon is fingering me."
All right.
I don't know what that meant because I've never seen Bound. And I was a kid when that movie came out, so I was like, what does fingering mean? And now I know. Okay, well, I'm not going to watch Bound now.
Yeah, me either.
But anyways, that's what I
Bound now.
Wow.
That's what I think of when I think of Gina Gershon. Isn't she in like a rock and roll movie where she plays like a rocker or something? Like a lesbian rocker?
I have no earthly... sure.
I don't know either.
She was in Killer Joe. Huh. She sucked on Matthew McConaughey's chicken leg wiener.
Stop it.
That's a real thing. There's a scene in that movie where Matthew McConaughey grabs a piece of fried chicken, a drumstick, and puts it where his dick is, and he has Gina Gershon's character suck on it like it's his dick. I'm not making this shit up. Look at Mark's face. Mark's like, what the fuck?
No, I have to go...
Yeah, Killer Joe. That's a real thing. So, Mr. Mark Begley, when we're not bitching about horror movies, where can people find you and your podcast?
You can find Wake Up Heavy wherever you listen to podcasts, I assume. Yeah.
At least you're confident about it.
That places just pull your RSS feed. I don't have much control over it. I mean, I put it on Spotify and iTunes and places like that, but there's all these other ones that I've never heard of that I know it's on. Last FM, iHeartRadio.
Yeah, they just drag everybody else's RSS.
Amazon Music or Amazon Podcasts. Well, I did put it on there, but and wakeupheavy.com.
What about you, Andrew? Where can
I
we
won't
find
be
you?
talking about Green Inferno.
Oh, why not?
That's for your show.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
That's for us to rip to shreds.
Only I could watch garbage that good. What about you, Andrew? Where can people find you?
All things Andy Gnosis. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok. That's GNOSIS.
And as for me, cstachiw.com. That's my link tree, cstachiw.com. That's where you can go to find the things that I work on. Mark and I have several episodes together. Andrew and I have several episodes together. We've all had episodes together at this point, and now we've had one with the three of us. So there you go. Yeah, that's where you can find my stuff. As for this show, Kulturecast.com, Patreon.com/Kulturecast, all places you can go to support the show by either kicking money our way or just, listening. Listening is good too. If you don't even want to pay money, you could just listen. I know, it's a novel concept. It's almost like we make money through listens, though, but don't tell them that. And Mark, Andy, thank you so much for joining me to, Mark, to subject yourself to this movie, and Andy for suggesting this movie. So, yeah. And as always, make sure to catch us on the next episode.